Well, howdy, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, we're going to go on a voyage. Live TV on Plex and Emby. I promised it. I'm bringing it to you right now. So if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you know I'm a big fan of TiVo for live TV. There is this thing in the world called free over-the-air TV. It's been around since I was a youngin', and it's still out there. All you have to do is put an antenna up, a $20 or $30 antenna. Go and check a website to see where to point that antenna to. Buy a device like a HD Home Run or a TiVo, and have it scan for available channels, and bing, bang, boom, you're basically up and running, and you got free over-the-air TV. We dumped our satellite years ago. It was just, paying $120 a month for a TV that we never watched was ridiculous. Now, when my mother came to live with us, we needed something simple, easy for her to use, so we went with a TiVo Bolt and then TiVo Minis around the house. And TiVo's a great system. It's got really great guide data, and it's got some neat whiz-bang features, and it all worked well. And Mom passed away in March, and I'm paying, $16 a month for TiVo plus, tax. And, frankly, I don't need to be paying for free over-the-air TV when it's something Plex and Emby both can do if you have the right combination of equipment and the right settings on Plex and Emby, and a powerful enough server with a powerful enough video card to do all this. Now, a few weeks ago, Willie Howe expressed his curiosity, or he wanted to know how to do it. So I'm kind of dedicating this video to Willie Howe. It's done in your honor. I've been meaning to do it for months, and now that I've got my Plex and Emby server situation straightened out, we'll cover that in this video as well. I wanted to show you how to set up live TV on both of those. So here we go. Alright, so I've got my main antenna that comes in here on this cable. Now this is an RG6 cable. Make sure when you get if you're going to do live TV and you're going to use an antenna, that you get good quality RG6 and not RG59 cable for digital TV. Now this comes into a Philips 4-way splitter. Actually, all I need is a 2-way splitter, but this is what I had on hand. And then I've got an output here, a good quality RG6 cable that goes to one tuner, and an output here that goes to this spool of cable. And you can see it's a good quality, high performance RG6 digital cable TV cable that goes to my two HD Home Runs. Now, this HD Home Run is for my Emby server, and that HD Home Run is for my Plex server, because I run two different media servers, Plex and Emby, because I want to be able to do comparisons of them, and I'm going to show you how I set up live TV on both of them. It's fairly straightforward. And then they just simply, they're a network device, so you get power, you've got the antenna signal coming in, and then you have Ethernet connection on on both of these. The other trick is, don't spend too much for an outdoor antenna. I'll put some links in the show notes of where to go to find out what kind of antenna would be best for the area you're in based on your zip code, your street address. I spent $20 on my outdoor antenna years ago, and it served me well. So it's all about what direction you point the antenna and how strong your signal strength is. So this is the Dell R720, this 2U unit here, and I've got one 2.5-inch hard drive in there. That's an old 1 terabyte spinning hard drive out of a laptop, and I use that to record my surveillance footage on. So this Dell R720 has become my workhorse now. It also has an SSD drive in there, a boot drive, just tucked away inside. And this is the one that I run everything on. I run my surveillance, I run some virtual machines on here. I also run Plex, and I also run Emby. And in this unit, I had a video card. You saw the video. I don't know if you saw the video I did on it or not, but I have since upgraded the card to a Quadro P400. I think I had a P2000 or a P200 in there. Let me see if I can find the card. So here's the one that was in there. And it's a good card. It's Quadro. Oh, there it is. Quadro K2000. Finally. So I replaced that with a P400, which is a generation newer video card, and it is supported under Windows Server 2019. I've loaded the drivers, and I'll show you that. So this is the actual Dell R720 server, and it has two 12-core CPUs on here, 2 gigahertz, and I believe they'll turbo higher than that. They're the E5 2620s. I'll look up the specs on them. I've only got 32 gig of RAM on here. I'm going to take that to 64 here shortly, as soon as I can afford it. And you can see I've got about 11% utilization on here. Now, I'm running, right now this is running Blue Iris, and it's consuming about 10 to 12%. You can see I've got LAN Sweeper running on here. I've got Plex Media Server. I've got Emby Server running on here. And it's very little impact on the CPUs. But the main thing I wanted to show you is that Quadro P400 video card. I was able to load the NVIDIA drivers for the Quadro P400. In fact, let's see what drivers I'm using for that Quadro card. Let's see, driver. So the drivers are from December 11, 2020. They're 27.21.14.6089 drivers. And the Quadro card is actually a workstation card, but it is supported. Plex can use it. It works with H.264 and H.265. I'll show you that setting here in a minute. So there's my CPU usage. There's my memory usage. And then I'll bring up Hyper-V here so you can see I've got a couple of virtual machines running on it, on the unit. I've got my PBX system, and then I'm running a system called Plesk for web hosting that I've been playing around with. So it's handling the load, and it's handling my surveillance software as well. So this is a true multi-purpose server. It's nice to see this thing actually get put to work. All right, so I've already got the tuners for live TV set up on Plex, and I'm just going to go over basically what I did to set them up. So under Plex, we'll start with Plex and then we'll move on to Emby. You want to go over to your settings and come in here under live TV and DVR. And what you're going to do is you're going to add a device right here. And then you're going to select, I use the HD Home Runs. Now, I'm not going to choose this unit. I'm using the one at address 5.45 is for my Emby server. But I just wanted to show you what it would look like if it, once it finds your device. In fact, I don't think we have any DVR recording set up. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the DVR on this and set it up from scratch so you can see. So I'm going to delete it. So now I'm going to set up my Plex DVR. And the one I'm using is 5.57. So make sure if you've got more than one. Each one of these can record 2 simultaneous TV shows at one time. So you select the one you want to choose. In my case, it's 57. Click on Continue. And then you tell it you're running an antenna in the United States, and then you click on Scan Channels. This will take a couple of minutes to go through and scan the channels. So while it's getting guide data, we can come here to the DVR settings, and you can change your preferred resolution. You can replace lower resolution items. You can choose to allow a partial recording or a partial airing. You could change the number of minutes to start recording before the scheduled time, or how many minutes to add. Some programs go a little long, maybe start a little early. You can even do scripts in the post-processing. And there's a feature on here to detect commercials and remove them. Now, it warns you this process may take a long time and cause high CPU usage. Detect and delete commercials will delete detected commercial footage from your video files. Detected commercials and marked for skip will leave the video files intact. So what I would tell you to do is maybe detect commercials and mark for skip, because I know if my spouse loses any part of a program that he's recorded, he's not going to be real happy with me. So, and then you can tell it what time to perform a refresh of the program guide data. And in my case, it's going to do it at 2 a.m. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't used the detect commercials function yet because we're just now using the live TV in Plex. And so that'll be an experiment. That'll be something I experiment with moving forward. But I just want to go over those settings real quick with you. Now, if you use multiple users like I do, like I have an admin user called, Unky Joe, and then I have my spouse's account that we use to use Plex. But it's very important you come up here under your account, go to users and sharing, and for the person that you're going to have give access, or that's going to use a live TV and DVR, you got to make sure you give them access to that. So I come over here to my spouse and come over here to restrictions and make sure that you allow live TV and DVR access. Otherwise, they won't be able to record shows or see the live TV guide. Let's see here what your choices are. So you can give no live TV and DVR, only allow live TV only, or allow live TV and DVR access. So I've got it set to allow live TV and DVR access. So that's very important. Don't forget that step, or the account that you use regularly with Plex will not work. Now, later, if you want to come in here and you want to add or disable channels, you can just come into here under the HD Home Run Connect here, and you see where it says 37 channels, 37 enabled. You could come in here and rescan the channels. Now make sure that when you understand that when you do that, it's also going to refresh the guide data, which can take some time because it's got to get new guide data. So if they add new channels or remove channels as time goes on, you can come in here and edit them through this interface here, the manage channels. I'm just going to cancel for now. All right, so according to Plex, the guide data has refreshed. So I should be able to go up here to my home button. I hate the new Emby, or the new Plex layout. I don't like this little popping menu. I'm just going to complain to you about it right now. And what I'm going to do is come down here to live TV and DVR, and I'm going to go ahead and reorder it. And I'm going to move it up to the top here, right there. Well, sorry, reorder it right there, and then we will, close the reorder. There it is. So now if I go to live TV and DVR, I got three choices. I've got two choices. I can go by what's on, if you like that way of looking at of what's coming up on live TV. I prefer the guide, so does my spouse. And here you'll see we've got some, we got I Dream of Jeannie, we got Hard Time coming on. So these are all the channels and what's coming on, the seasons. It gives you some information. If you click on it, you'll get some more information in the guide. Now, then you also have the DVR schedule, so anything that's set to record will appear here. If I go to record, let's see if we can't find a movie on here. How about movies channel? So let's go to Flying Down to Rio. So if I go to record that, it's going to ask me, okay, so there it is. It now asks me what library I want to add that to. So I could just put this under TV shows if I wanted to. Where are TV shows? Oh, I don't see TV shows. Interesting. Because it's not a TV show. That's probably why it won't allow me. But I could categorize it any way I want to, and then I've got, of course, the advanced features here. So there is a way to do that. Now, If I was recording Bonanza, let's go to Bonanza, say I want to record it. It should only allow me to save that to TV shows. Good. So that's a change they made. Mind you, I've had a server update since I last played with the DVR settings, so I'm learning this as I go and showing you. So if I told it to record Bonanza, it's going to go to the TV shows by default. If I'm recording a movie, I can actually categorize where I want it to go to. And then all I need to do to go to see a live channel, let's just go to the 70s show, click on Watch Now. Let me mute the volume, and I'm not going to be able to show you much of this, but you can see it works. It'll start streaming it here in a minute. There you go. And it is working. Now, the other thing I want you to see is, I want you to see that it is using my Quadro P400 card. If I go to Processes, you'll see the Plex transcoder is running, and it is using my Quadro P400 video card to transcode that video. So that's a good thing. I don't need to see them necking. Anyway, go back to the guide. So that's live TV, and you see it's still playing down here under Plex. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. So there's live TV for Plex. So now what we need to do is we need to go set it up for Emby, and I'll show you how we do that next. All right, so now I'm on my Emby dashboard, and I've got it in dark mode. One thing I want to show you, I'm using Emby, and I have Emby Premiere. But if I come over here to transcoding, you've got some choices here. Enable hardware acceleration when available. If you leave that set to yes, that's the majority of you are going to leave that set to yes. This is why it's important to have a card that is supported by Emby and Plex, and that Quadro P400 card is supported. And the way I know that is if I come down here and change it to advanced, you'll see it shows my preferred hardware decoders for H.265, and it is using the Quadro P400. For MPEG, it's using the Quadro P400. For VC1, H.264, VP9, and preferred hardware encoders for H.264 and H.265 are the Quadro P400 video cards. So I know it's using them. So I could leave it set to advanced. I'm just going to leave it set to yes, but I wanted to show you that before we went through and started setting up the tuner. And I'm just going to click save on that setting. Now what you need to do is come down here to live TV. It's very similar to how we did it under Plex. And for TV sources, you're going to click on plus and then click on detect my devices. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go out there and detect both of my HD home run boxes. But remember, I said earlier we're using 57 for Plex, so we don't want to choose that one. 45 is the one we're using for Emby. So I'm going to select that one. And also you want to allow hardware transcoding. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And now what I need to do is add a guide data provider. So I'm going to click plus, and then I'm going to go down to United States. And the guide source is going to be the Emby guide data. You get that with your Emby Premiere subscription. Click on next. I'm going to enter my zip code and then tell it my lineup is going to be for local channels, local over-the-air broadcast, and I'm going to enable it for all tuner devices. I'm going to click on save. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go out and get guide data. So if we come back here to the dashboard, it's at about 56%. So this one actually goes pretty quick on Emby. Okay, so it's gotten the guide data now. So if I come here to live TV, it's all set up. Now, one thing I want to show you is on the DVR, they have that a little bit separate from how Plex does it. Now, it's very important. Number of days of guide data to download. Downloading more days where the guide data provides the ability to schedule out further in advance to view more listings, but it'll also take longer to download. So it leaves it at auto. Let's see. Auto will choose based on the number of channels. Please note that regardless of how many days you choose, the data must exist in the source guide data. So I don't know It says some guide data providers only provide 24 hours. Emby guide data supports up to 14 days. So I don't know what the default is when you leave that set to auto, to be honest with you. But you could probably go to the Emby forums and they can answer that there. Now, default recording path. It says specify the default location to save recordings. If left empty, the server's program data folder will be used. Well, I don't want it to use that. I've created a separate folder for Emby to store recorded TV. And it's called Recorded TV. So I'm going to go to select my directory. I'm going to go to my M drive, go to videos, and I've got a folder out here called Recorded TV. Not TV shows like I do under Plex, and I'm not categorizing it where to save movies. I'm telling it to save everything under Recorded TV. I just like keeping it separate. Now, if I wanted to set a movie recording path, I could do that. Same thing with a series, TV series recording path. But I'm just going to use that Recorded TV folder. And then, of course, I can do post-processing. I could also start and stop a few minutes ahead or after. But you notice one thing I can't do is commercial detection. So that's one advantage you have of using Plex. And like I said, as I get more familiar with Plex, I'll let you know my results of using the commercial detection. So I'm going to click on Save here, and it's telling you it's not going to migrate any existing recordings, so I got that. So now if I go back up to Dashboard, it's scanning the media library, but I should have guide data now. So if I go here to Emby and go to Live TV, again, I can do it by programs, I can do it by guide, I can do it by channels. I can go out and I can look at my recordings. And you see I've got quite a few out here already. I've been playing with it. And you can see my schedule of recordings and my series of recordings. So I'm just going to come here to the guide. Let's see what options I have. So Live TV, I just click on it. And then I click on play.
Smile Train are still happening in.
So there you go. There's my Live TV. I can go full screen. I can go back. I got to tell you, I like the guide better on Emby. I like Emby better, just as a general rule, because they don't futz with stuff all the time like Plex does. It seems like every time there's a new feature in Plex, they force it on their users. You know, what they ought to do is put, a change log and say, here are the new features for Plex. If you want to enable them, click here to enable them. They don't do that under Plex. Emby does. Emby very seldom changes the interface. They put it in a separate file, an addendum, and they tell you, hey, here's the change log. If you want to enable this new feature, click here, here, and here. Anyway, I digress. But say, for example, I wanted to record this episode of Bewitched. So I just click on it, click on record, and then I can go to settings here, and I can change my start and my stop, and that's it. I can't change where I'm going to record it to because I've already told it. I can't do commercial skip. I could do record series. Okay, and it says series recording scheduled, and then if I come to that, I don't have many options. So I've told it to record the series, right? So let me close that and come here to series. No, maybe I didn't. Schedule? No. Maybe I didn't. Okay, you're learning this right along with me. Okay, well, here we go. So we just found a boo-boo. It should have prompted me for series settings when I told it to record the series. So I had to go out of the episode and come back in, and it didn't show up under series either. That's really odd. I wonder if that's a bug. Schedule, recordings, channels, guide. Interesting. Okay. And I don't see a little button that says it's going to record. So if I go to series settings now, here we go. Now I can record all episodes on that channel only, any airtime, as many as possible, start, stop, and then it's got a schedule of all the episodes that it's going to record, and it's got a little record indicator. I'm not sure that works as intended because, as you can see, let me come back into live TV and go to the guide. Now it's updated the guide. So it's not updating the guide, and I bet you now it's updated series. So I don't know whether that's a bug they're aware of, or if they'd even call that a bug. What one man's bug is another man's feature. But I could have probably just refreshed the screen as well. So let me cancel this series. I'm going to cancel the series here. And it says recording canceled. Now I've got a spinning wheel. Yeah, I've still got a spinning wheel. Let's refresh. Go to guide. Now it should have canceled the series. So I would say that kind of qualifies as a glitch. Maybe not a bug, but a glitch. But that's basically how you do a series and basically how you do live TV. But I didn't see an option there where to save the recording to. So if I come back home and go to recordings, you'll see I've got a bunch of shows out there that I've recorded previously to this. Let's see, I've got an episode of That Girl, Murder, She Wrote. Let's see, A Million Little Things. And I can, I believe, if I click here, I can actually delete these. Yep. So I can delete it. I got an episode of Highway to Heaven. I can convert them. Let's see. Let's go into the episode. Go to more. I can go to convert, right? Yeah, convert. So I could convert it just like I can under Plex to a lower quality. The thing I like about Emby is it kind of organizes everything for me here in recorded TV. I got 14 episodes of Barney Miller. Let's see if one of them will actually play.
It's a secret.
Yep. Bingo. Works like a dream. So, yeah, I was a big fan of Barney Miller growing up as a kid. I know I'm weird. I've got some Charlie's Angels in there. This is when I was doing my testing. So that's one of the things I really like about Emby, is it really organizes. I like the way it organizes live TV better. There is one little problem I have with running Emby on a Roku, and that is, when you see live TV and you go to the guide, everything is in sequence. But for some reason on the Roku, when you go to the guide data, these channels are in just whatever frickin' order it feels like. I could have channel 12.2 up here and 9.1 over here and another one over. There's no rhyme or reason, and I have yet to determine how it sets that. So it looks like it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ahead for my schedule. And then I have an ellipse here where I can sort by channel number. I can't do that on the Roku. I cannot find this feature on the Roku, but I'll figure that out later. I could enable color-coded backgrounds. Let's see what that does. Oh, that's kind of neat. I like that. I like that feature. But that's only in the web-based version. That's kind of cool. And make sure it's got all the channels in here. Yeah, 35. Well, it's missing channel 50.1, but it may not be available on that tuner. So, just playing around with it, and it looks pretty cool to me. Okay, I took off the color-coded backgrounds. And I shouldn't have any series set up to record. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. It works really well. And I'll tell you, the match feature under Emby has gotten a lot better. I just set this up from scratch the other day, and I can tell you from experience, I only had to match maybe 20 different shows. Now, TV shows I'm going to have to go into here and fix because these are not correct. For example, the Amanda Show, if I go to identify, you see it's Are You Being Served? But there's a really easy way to fix that. You just highlight the name of the show and copy it, paste it in here. And then once it gets the right one, you can select it here, and then it'll update it easily. And there you go. So it's figured that one out. And you just need to keep doing that for every season. You see, these are different volumes. Paste it, search, select, tell it OK. And you just have to do that for every volume it misidentifies. And there's some other shows in here that, let's go to this one. I have no idea what that is. Identify. Are you being served? So you see how it misidentifies some of the TV shows. And but they're easily fixed up. And it should get rid of that one now. Nope, it's doing it again. So for every volume it has mismatched, I just need to copy and paste that. Keep telling it OK until it gets done with all the volumes. And there it took care of them. So all my young Sheldons are in there. I don't have Pokemon in there. That's Are You Being Served? So yeah, it's still a little wonky on the program matching sometimes. But I'll tell you, not the last update of Plex, but the one before that, they changed the program that they used to do matching for movies and whatnot. And man, that was the worst experience I've had with Plex matching movies in years. They really had it down to a science. And then, it's like anything else. I think they're trying to justify you spending $5 a month for them. But once they get the program working, if they would just leave it alone and just leave the damn thing alone. I just want it to work. And, nothing's more discouraging when you get the spouse trained on how to use something and then they go and change it and you don't have any clue and suddenly you're getting screamed at. Well, I wouldn't say screamed at, but you're getting yelled at because, why did this change? I was working just fine. And I agree with that. Once you get used to using something a certain way, you just want to kind of leave it that way. So I'll go through and I'll fix these, and I'll get the match fixed on them, and I should be good to go. So, but there you go, live TV on Emby. It works like a charm. Now I'm going to share a little wisdom with you that could save you a lot of time and effort. The spouse came to me. I've had Plex set up to record live TV for a couple of weeks now, kind of beta testing it in the house. And the spouse kept coming to me and saying, hey, it just stops. It stops picking up the channel. The channel gets all blocky, or it won't tune into the channel, or, whatever. And, when your spouse tells you something like that, you're like, oh, yeah, you probably pressed the wrong button or something like that. But I had some time the other day to spend, and I'll be damned if I wasn't watching on Plex, and sure enough, it would tell me it couldn't tune into the channel, or the channel would come in for a little while and then go out. Now, I thought perhaps they moved the antenna when they put my new roof and my gutters in, but I checked it, and the antenna still pointed in the right direction, so I was at a loss for what was causing it. So I got into troubleshooting, and I got to tell you, these HD home run devices are great, but the software for them really sucks. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in a second. I was able to isolate the problem down to one specific HD home run unit. Just was not tuning in the channels well at all. And in fact, I spent 2 hours going through, because the software does not have a channel signal indicator. You have to go through each channel one by one, bring it up, have it start playing a video, and then you can display the signal quality settings on the HD home run software. It's really, really odd the way they do it. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. So I spent 2 hours mapping all the channels and verifying where my problem was, and I isolated it to that one tuner. So then to further troubleshoot it, I said, well, because I initially thought it was my antenna, or maybe it was the rain or the wind was blowing, or something. I'm going to show you what it turned out to be. It turned out to be this. You can get a bad cable and not know it until you put it into use. And I have had those HD home run units for a couple of years now, year and a half maybe, and it was never using that other tuner, I guess, to record TV or to watch TV. And it just happened to be on a day when the wind was blowing in the right direction, that tuner got used, And because I had a bad cable, and this is a fairly new cable, it's a cheap one, it's a Walmart cable. Use good quality cables, good quality splitters, good quality 300 ohm to 75 ohm adapters, and don't be like Hunky Joe and waste a whole bunch of time because of a bad damn cable. Now, this is going in the trash. So let me show you what I was talking about when I'm talking about tuning in a signal for the TV. So this is the little utility you get with these HD home run units. These are the specific ones I'm using. And the tuner that was giving me trouble is the A9C. And you can see it's got 2 tuners, a digital antenna, status is okay. And there is no way under here I can scan for channels and rescan. I can go here to DVR, come here to advanced, but nowhere does it have a signal strength indicator. Nowhere, right? No, what you have to do is you have to bring it up, then you click on this little link, and then it opens in another browser window this HD home run. And then you can come here to what's called tuner status. Now right now, none of these tuners are in use. So I'm gonna shrink this window down so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about, right? So if I come over here to digital antenna, I'm on the FA9C. This is FA9C, right? FA9C. So go to tuner status, and I still don't have any signal strength. You see, it's none, right? So I had to go in here to each channel. I'm going to go ahead and sort these by number. Sorry, guide number. So, for example, if I wanted to see the signal strength on 28-4, I have to click on it. Now, it's going to bring it up in a browser window. Let me mute it. You won't be able to see it. And I'm going to come over here to Tuner 0 now. Now you can see, now that I've tuned into a channel, I can see my signal strength, my quality, and my symbol quality. So this is what I have, and you'll see over here on, you can see it's actually brought up the channel. Okay, so if I go to Tuner 0, Tuner 1, Tuner 0, you'll see I've still got the frequency and the signal strength. But I had to do this for each and every channel. And these channels were especially rough, 9,1, because these are VHF channels. So if I come here to Tuner 0 now, and you'll see my signal strength. So, but because of that bad cable, I was not able to receive these channels. Now I'm able to receive them all. I've got really good, not bad signal strength. My point is, they should have a better utility than this, than having to go through this procedure to check the signal strength. I think you would agree. So just be aware if you're going to do live TV, and I do recommend it. There's some really good over-the-air channels out there if you're a nostalgia buff like we are. Some of the older shows, and it does help break up the monotony of if your online or internet service goes down, you'll still have the ability to watch some TV. PBS has got some great programming on it, and it is, it's free over the air. So if you're willing to make the investment into an antenna and the cables and a splitter and all that to hook it all up and deal with being your own broadcast engineer, then this is for you. If you're not willing to put that much time and effort into it, then, so be it. I know a lot of people don't even want to put the effort into Plex. They just don't think it's worth it, or Emby. But for us folks that have run media centers in the past, I like having all my media in one spot. And I'll tell you, I still like Emby better than Plex, though. I like the interface better. The spouse likes it better, too, because of the stuff you can get on the actors and stuff like that. The interface for Plex has gotten better. They have streamlined it. They have made it easier to use, especially. Keep in mind, I'm using Roku devices to play Plex and to play Emby on. So if you're not using those devices, if you're using something like an Amazon Fire Stick or your built-in browser or built-in app on your TV, your mileage might vary. But they have improved the interface for Plex on the Roku, and I hope they don't change it again. But we shall see. So there you go. We hope you found the video entertaining and informative. As always, please give us a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. leave your comments in the comments section. Donate if you're so inclined. We take PayPal, we take Patreon, and we have the YouTube join button for $2 a month, a recurring membership. So if you like the content on this channel, help support us. It helps us to keep the channel up and running, and to bring you new content. So thanks again for coming to see us, and please don't forget, we'll see you on the other side.